Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is your host, King Gio. Now that the ordeal of Carlos Correa is gone, let's talk about the 2023 Mets. Okay, there's a lot of fans out there who are angry that Cohen didn't pull the trigger to get Carlos Correa. But I don't think it's a bad thing because we're not looking at this from another perspective. The Mets won 101 games last year without Carlos Correa, right? Will they win 101 games again this year? Who knows? Baseball is a tricky game. You know, the Dodgers won 107, 108 games, and they didn't even make it to the World Series. So what does that tell you? That anything can happen in baseball. But let's not discard that the Mets have Eduardo Escobar, not the best looking third baseman there is out there, but he wasn't bad last year. You know, yes, he hit low for average 240, but he hit 20 home runs. He got 69 RBIs. Okay, and that's not bad. You know, at one point he got a career high of 171 hits, 35 home runs, and scored 107 runs, RBIs. Carlos Correa has never done that. Carlos Correa has never reached 30 home runs. Carlos Correa has never reached 100 RBIs. His bat is good in the playoffs. Yes, he has that experience. But to be perfectly honest with you, you're giving a guy so much money, you're not going to know if he's going to produce. You're taking away an opportunity. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wanted him. But when I thought about it in the long run, you're taking the opportunity away from Beatty. You're taking away the opportunity of Mauricio coming up. You know, these young players that we got in the minor league system that we want to see play. We don't know if Beatty is going to do great this year. You don't know. You know, he got hurt early last year. You don't know. You know, now Eduardo has something to prove because he's going to say to himself, you know what? You guys wanted to trade me? You guys gave hope on me? All right, so here goes. Last year, what did they give me? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I mean, they're two different hitters, you know. Eduardo hits from both sides of the plate, as to where Carlos Correa doesn't. But we have young players that we gotta give them chance to play. And like I said, baseball is a weird game. So like I said, you know, the Dodgers won 107 games. They didn't even win the World Series. They didn't even go to the World Series. The Yankees didn't go to the World Series. A lot of teams that thought they was going to be there weren't going to be there. The Guardians went to the playoffs. Okay? The Philadelphia Phillies went to the World Series. Who would have thought that? Atlanta Braves didn't even make it. So what does that tell you again? That baseball is a weird game. But think about it this way. Next year, you know, put it this way, if the Angels are not doing that good, come July, come the All-Star break, hey, they might say, you know what? We'll part ways with Ohtani. Give us these players and you could take Ohtani. Hey, the Mets may be able to do that depending on where the Mets are. You know, if the Mets are in the hunt, they'll say, you know, okay, we'll pull the trigger, we'll give you this player. But they prefer not to, you know, because they say, you know what, he's going to be a free agent next year, we can grab him then, we don't have to give up on players. But that has yet to be, you know, that yet to remains to be seen because we're not there yet. The season even hasn't started. So you got Ohtani, then you got third baseman Machado, which is going to be 31 years old. You know, he gets along with Buck Showalter. The only thing I don't like about Machado is that he's lazy running. But Machado has played in all his 8 seasons. He's played in over 152 games. That's good. He carried the Padres last year. And don't get me wrong, the Padres have a team. Grissom, okay, Machado, Tatis, Soto. If Soto can go back up to where he was before, that's going to be a good point in batting team. You know, Machado's with the Padres to what, 2027? but he's willing to opt out. Everything nowadays, everybody wants to opt out. So let's not discard the Mets. Let's give them the credit that they deserve. Do they need another bat? Yes, they do. Of course they do. I think they overpaid for Nimmo. I think they should have given less for Nimmo. Canna is a good outfielder. He's a streaky hitter. When he played with Oakland, he's a solid hitter. He chases at bats and he makes them count. He doesn't swing at everything. So, like I said, every year is different. I wish that some of these young players would play winter ball. Go to Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and play out there, so they can get their games more tuned up. But they don't do that. And the baseball classic is coming in 2 months. We're going to see a lot of our players there, and we're going to see how the Mets are going to do this year. I think they're going to do good. Steve Cohen's not shy, as you know that. But you gotta look at it from just because he has money doesn't mean he's gonna spend it dumb. 150. Just think about it this way, guys. Carlos Correa, baseball's not what it used to be when you play baseball for the love of the game. Carlos Correa took $47 million more to be in a team that probably won't even see a championship in years. Whereas to when he was with the Mets are championship caliber now, in years to come. With the Mauricio, with the Beatty, with the Alvarez, and they have another pitcher out there, the Mets guy, I forgot his name. But they're doing good. They have this skinny guy, I think from the Dominican Republic. They say he's pretty good too. I forgot his name. I read it the other day. But you gotta develop your farm system, and the Mets can develop the farm system. It's gonna be good. So it's these players it's all about money. They don't love the game, they just love the money. The money's good, don't get me wrong. But as a player, as a former player, when I used to play baseball, if I would have had the chance that these guys have, I wouldn't care about the money as much, because you're making millions of dollars. How much more millions do you need? You only have one life, right? But I would have wanted to go. But I think the team that has the best chance to win a championship, and not just one, multiple championships. You're not going to do that with the Twins. You're not going to do that with the Pirates. You're not going to do that with Milwaukee. Right? So you decide to go to a team that's doesn't even have that good of a lineup besides him, Braxton, and somebody else. But it's just, it's just not. It's just all about the money. But I'm glad that he did, because that, like I said, that gives us a chance to see Beatty. That gives us a chance to you could put Beatty at third base, you could put Eduardo at third base. Give this young man a chance to develop, because that's the only way. I mean, look at Juan Soto. Juan Soto was in the major leagues 19. Julio Rodriguez was in the major leagues when he was 18, 19. Ken Griffey Jr. I mean, there's a lot of players who were in the teens. Dwight Gooden. In their teens, and they played. I'm not a big fan of bringing in a player who's already 24, 25 years old, who's been in the minor leagues 5 or 6 years. If he's good enough to play in the minor leagues, bring him up. If he's great, bring him up. Let us see what he can do. Don't keep him in the minor leagues till he's 24, 25. That's what happened with Jeff McNeil. Jeff McNeil played so long in the minor leagues that he came up late. Could you imagine if they would have? And then the managers, Terry Collins. Terry Collins didn't have him. It was Daniel Murphy. Daniel Murphy was great with the Mets, but they didn't play him consistently at second base. And Daniel Murphy was a great hitter, one of the best. And if Jeff McNeil, if you keep Jeff McNeil at second base and stop moving him, you're gonna have a good. He's gonna hit again. Because he's proven these 2 years in a row, he's hit, or more than 2 years in a row, that he's hit over 300. Because he doesn't swing at dumb balls, like Alonso does and Lindor does. or the Baez of the world or the Cespedes of the world. You know, he takes their time. So the Mets are good. I think the Mets are going to do good. They're going to be in good shape. I think they should surpass. I hope. One would hope on paper they should surpass over 100 wins because you lost two pitches, you gained 2 pitches. So they have 2 years with Scherzer and Verlander to do something. And then they got Kenya, and then they got Robertson, and they got players that. But the Mets needs to get younger. They gotta stop getting these older players. They need to start getting younger, like the Guardians. Then these kids that are hungry, they want to win. They want to prove their worth. And that's the only way that you're going to be able to do that when you bring them young, 8, 19, 20 years old. Let them play. Let them play. That's what they're there for. Let them play. Having Carlos Correa at third base would have taken away from us the opportunity to watch Batty play. And that's the truth. So as a Mets fan, like I said, it would have been nice to see Carlos Correa, but I'm happy with the decision that the Mets made. I'm happy with management. I'm not happy that we have the same team as last year. The same players. I mean, Vogelbach shouldn't be there. Ruff shouldn't be there. Guys like that. I don't even know why they got Navarez, because that's a waste of money there. But they're the one that's paying. Epler thinks he knows what he's doing. He hasn't showed me that he's a great GM. Omar Minaya, that was a great GM. And he brought in Carlos Delgado. He brought in a lot of good players. Beltran. But Epler, I think, the Mets overpaid with Verlander. The Mets overpaid Scherzer. I know the Cohen wants to win, but there are a lot of ways that you can win. That you don't need this. You don't need these old men, because they're old, man. They haven't even won 100 games yet. They got good track records, yeah. But let's see. Let's see if Edgar Alonso can steal those pitches. If Lindor can do the same. Now with the shift off, you're going to see more hits. You're going to see more defensive, better, good plays. I mean, the shift should have never been there in the first place. There's a lot of things in baseball that's happening right now that's taken away from the game. They don't bunt no more. The most the guy steals like 30 bases when you had the Ricky Hendersons and you had the Vince Coleman's of the world. They were stealing 80 bases a season. 80 bases a season. You don't see that now. You don't. It's a shame. The game of baseball has shrunk. Now they're going to put bigger bases. They're going to put a time clock. I mean, come on. What they say is for the better of the game, to make it shorter so that people can be more interested. Baseball fans, they don't mind sticking 2 hours, 3 hours watching a game. I know I don't. But I'm gonna say we should win the division this year because we are the better team, despite of what Atlanta did. Despite of what the Phillies did. And Phillies got a good team now. They up their game. That's what you're supposed to do. Who knows? There's a team out there that's going to surprise all of us. And that's for sure. It happens every year. What team is that? I have no idea. I would like to see the Pittsburgh Pirates do something. It's been a while they haven't won anything. But we'll see. So, best of luck to Carlos Correa in Minnesota. And let's give Beatty and well, at least Beatty that opportunity to prove himself. And if Alvarez can do good in spring training, hopefully he'll win a spot with the Mets. And you can see him play more. You can see him hit more bats. He probably could DH a little bit here, catch. He has to catch. At some point, you have to give him consistent catching time so he can learn, so he can know. You just can't leave him there and not let him catch. He said his defense is 100%, but I haven't seen him play, so I cannot tell you. But from what he showed batting wise, he wasn't all that great. But I can understand he was scared when he came up. He wanted to prove himself, so I can understand it. But we're going to see. So, let's go Mets. We're going to do great this year. Forget about Carlos Correa. That's old news.